So I would say this is a tough job, but it's not. So we've got the pool to chill out in. We've even got little XSR900 locker rooms. Yeah, tough day, tough day, tough day. All right, let's go pull some more wheelies.
These videos only happen because of the support and help from our sponsors. Support the companies that support us.
Welcome to Bike World, and I've got a bit of a bone to pick with the guys. So for some reason, they've sent me on the launch of the XSR900, which is a 90s throwback. Are they saying that I'm old? Well, to be honest, I am. And to be honest, I love it, because it reminds me of the 90s. The XSR900. The early Genesis 1000s with that Delta box chassis. I had those bikes. I loved those bikes. And when I get on it, I see that big flat tank. I see the styling, and I think early Yamaha. I think 90s GP bikes ridden by the French. I just love the styling. But my biggest concern for this bike was, I loved the predecessor, because it was simple, dead easy to ride. You just got on it and had fun. But now Yamaha have changed quite a lot. It's not just cosmetics. They've moved the rider in the chassis, so the rider sits a lot further back. The riding position is slightly more aggressive than the MT-09. The swinging arm is longer, and they've added a lot of electronics, like cornering ABS, slide control, traction control, multiple rider modes. And I was a little bit fearful that all those electronics and there's been too much changing would diminish the fun of the original XSR900, which was 2015, 16, if I remember rightly, but it hasn't. It's such a fun bike, simple and basic, and I really enjoyed this ride today. Essentially, it's an MT-09 engine, we all know that, 117 horsepower, 10,000 RPM, 63 Newton meters of torque at 7,000 RPM, which is more than enough on the road. 10,200 pounds in the UK compared to 9,400 of the MT-09. But it is very different to the MT-09. It's very different styling to the MT-09. There's lovely little bits. I love these little Zeus fasteners we've got here, the clip down little rear pillion pegs. I love the styling of the single seat, the way they've hid the backlight inside. This has obviously got the aftermarket exhaust on it, and there is multiple accessories. But for me, it's just the sheer simplistic enjoyment of riding the bike which makes this bike stand out. So as I say, I was fearful that putting all these rider aids and all this tech on was going to take it away from the original bike that I really enjoyed riding. But you can turn off the anti-wheelie, for example, and still have full slide control, full traction control, and just have some fun. Or alternatively, if you're a little intimidated by nearly 120 horsepower, 3-cylinder, nearly 900cc engine, you can put it in one of the softer modes, turn up the traction, turn up the rider aids, and you've got excellent cornering ABS, which, to be honest, we've not had the opportunity to really push because we've had perfect conditions here in Tuscany. Find out what terrible lunch that Yamaha have got provided for us. Oh, this looks absolutely shocking. Terrible. Oh, I can't eat in these conditions. God, I brought the swimmers. Every time I walked up to the bike, I enjoyed the appeal. I liked the look, I liked the feel of it. Maybe that's because I remember the 90s, and maybe that's because I yearned for a XSR900 at that time. And I think that's the key selling point for this bike. We often talk about handling, and we often talk about electronics and how the bike steers. And it steers very well, it's very natural, it's easy going, it's quite soft. If you was going to go to a track, you would need to change the suspension because it is a little too soft. But for me, it's just that simplistic enjoyment. And that's what I've really enjoyed about this bike. It's a throwback to the 90s. I think it looks great, and I've just enjoyed riding it. It's that simple. But come on, guys, why are you sending me to do the 90s bikes? Time to do some sketchy shit. Doo-dah, doo-dah. Cheers, boss. Prego. Grazie mille. Let's do it.